Hey guys, Jason Reichard, Crazy Blessed Fishing. Sunday the 6th. Gonna give you a breakdown on what we're catching fish on Table Rock Lake. Let's go. So, Table Rock Lake this week, a little bit slow. All my fish came on drop shot, and I want to show you guys what we caught them on and how we're catching them on drop shot. So first off, I'm going to show you the finesse rig. This is the finesse rig I throw. I always throw it on a spinning rod. I use a tungsten weight on those hard bottoms. That tungsten makes a little bit more noise, and I really believe that it attracts the fish. I've been fishing same boat, same rig, same everything, except for one guy's using a lead weight, one's using a tungsten, and the guy with the tungsten is catching more fish, and that's just the way it went down. So anyways, I like tungsten. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but whatever you can find on sale, buy that, because it doesn't really matter beyond that. Most of the keepers aren't that great anyways, so you usually have to tie a knot in the end of that line to keep that weight from sliding off. So it really doesn't matter how much you spend, but I would say get the tungsten. It does make a louder crack when it hits the bottom. I use a Mosquito Light, Owner Mosquito Light hook. I use a size 2 and a size 1. And they're so close in size that I just cut the label off and leave it down in the box with my hooks. It just makes it a little bit easier to get to them. And that's my finesse rig. It depends on the day, but whenever it's been like it's been with drop shot and been easy to catch, I put a swivel on there just to keep it from getting twisted up so much. I know a lot of the people that I fish with that aren't experienced fishermen really appreciate it because it doesn't twist their line nearly as bad. And whenever you're fishing like those KVD Dream Shots, let me show you here, you can see just by the nature of it how it's half round. That thing just wants to spin as it comes up, so that makes it a lot easier whenever you're doing that. Let's go into colors for Table Rock. The colors that I've been having a lot of luck with is this Kevin Van Dam Strike King Morning Dawn Dream Shot. Really loving that bait. That's what I actually just took off there, as you can see. And it's that Morning Dawn color. Seems to do real well. And if that's not doing it, I'll spin right around and use the purple brown laminate chompers worm, and one of those will do it. I mean, if you only had 2 worms to fish with on Table Rock, those would be the 2 right there. I mean, they just work. Now I do keep some more shad colors in the Kevin Van Dam. The Ghost Shad is another good one. And then this is kind of a spot remover color. It's a chartreuse and blue. That does really well. In deeper waters where I find that one doing better. If I'm catching fish in 40 to 60 foot, that's the deal. If they're less than 40 to 60 foot, that's the deal. Kevin Van Dam Dream Shot, Morning Dawn, or the Chompers, Brown Purple Lamb. So those are my main go-to drop shot worms that I use. Now I'll occasionally throw something different, but more than likely that's it. If I'm fishing up shallower and I'm fishing more of a shaky shot, I like the Smalley Smasher. You've seen me talk about it before. They've discontinued these things, so they're harder than heck to get. But if you can find them, I really do like them. You can see they're a lot like the Dream Shot look to them. They got a little bit fatter tail, but I really like that ribbing in them. It seems like whenever the fish bite them, they hang on to them. And that's my finesse rig setup for drop shot. So whenever I'm fishing drop shot over deep water, around trees, that's it. I pair that up. I fish that on a Corrado 7-foot medium light with a Stratic CI 4+ reel. That's just my go-to setup for drop shot, and I really like it. It's not on the real high-end expensive spinning reels and spinning rods, so it's right in the middle of the road, so it keeps the price down. Because honestly guys, I'm not a big drop shot guy. I'm just not. It's not my favorite way to fish, but it does produce fish. It puts fish in the boat, and I guess that's what it's about. Anyways guys, so whenever I'm fishing what I call a heavy shot, so if I'm going over brush piles or rock piles, but mainly brush piles is where I'm catching them at whenever I'm fishing a heavy shot. And what I'm talking about is with a heavy shot is at least a ½ ounce weight, and then I'm doing a 4/0 or a 3/0 wide gap hook, Gamakatsu wide gap hook, so I can hook that thing up weedless and get it down in that brush pile and actually pull those fish out. So I'm running 12 to 14 pound test, and I run it on a bait caster to where I can wrench them up out of there quicker. And you can see I'm running a much bigger worm. I'm running a 6-inch worm there. So I'll show you some of the worm colors that I use. But that wide gap hook, hooked weedless, and then a ½ ounce weight. Now I do use lead there, just because the fact is I'm not worried about the clicking so much because it's on wood. If it hits it, it's going to still make a knocking sound because it's just echoing through the wood. This has been working fairly well the last few weeks over deep brush piles. If you can find brush piles in 25 to 40 foot of water, this has really been doing well with bigger fish. And every fish you catch on this seems like it's a way more quality fish. So let me see. And I fished this on, well, believe it or not, this is a Johnny Morris XPS reel and a Johnny Morris Signature Series Power Drive rod. The rod is a heavy action. No, excuse me. It's a medium heavy 7-foot tube. So medium heavy, fast action, 7-foot tube. Bass Pro Shops Signature Series Power Curve. And this is their 50th anniversary, so this year. And then it's also the XPS Signature Series Platinum reel. Very cheap combo, but it's a very nice combo. I actually really like it. I mean, it does really well for that. So what I'm fishing whenever I'm fishing that heavy shot is I'm running my big worm pack. And lately it's been, where's my KVD Perfect Plastics in Morning Dawn. Really like that. That's just a darn good bait. But where we've been catching them is this Magnum Trick worm, Zoom Trick worm, in June bug. And then I've also been doing really well. What I have on there right now is this guy right here, is the Big Bite Baits 8-inch worm June bug candy. Really like that. It's been working really well for me, and that's been one of my go-tos. As you can see with my weights, I'm just using a cheap 1/2 ounce drop shot weight. Those are Jewel, but they just don't need to be the tungsten, so I just don't run the tungsten on those. I do run a good sharp hook. Whenever I'm running any kind of wide gap, I'm either running a number 4 or number 3 Gamakatsu on that rig, and I'm just running it with my normal drop shot knot and leaving about a foot and 18 inches a leader on it, and then adjusting my weight where I need it to. Now over that wood, it seems like most of my strikes are coming whenever I rip it up and I'll hit that weight on the wood, is where a lot of my strikes are coming from. Once it knocks that wood and that bait's up a little bit higher, that worm, it really seems to be triggering the strikes. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Anyways, we'll see you next week. Boy, it's been a nice day today. It's overcast. It was raining a little bit this morning. You'll see or you saw in the video. Anyways, guys, have a great week. Have a blessed week. Don't forget to give us a like, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in a week.